Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. In today's video I am doing a Q&A, just a simple basic Q&A. I haven't done one of these in a little while. I think I normally do like 2 a year, but I thought I would sit down here and just do a Q&A, see what you guys want to ask me, you know? Like, it's a way of you getting to know me just a little bit better on more of a personal level. So I asked on my Instagram stories for these questions. The first one, which is very on brand for me, is what are your cozy essentials, including snacks? My cozy essentials, as you may know if you watch my videos, being cozy and comfortable is the ultimate thing for me. I love it so much. And it's that season. Autumn and winter is the best time to be cozy and comfortable. Am I wrong? No, I'm not. But my cozy essentials, including snacks. So the first thing I have to have is a blanket. I love blankets so much. I have different blankets for different seasons. I recently just got some new ones for winter. It's like a green, white, grey check situation, and they're very fluffy. I think the material is called Sherpa or something like that. So I always buy two as well, one for me, one for Tom. Candles is a must as well. I love having candles lit just because I mainly like the glow of them, like that rich yellowy orange glow and the flickering. I don't know, I just love a candle. I love my hot water bottle so much. I have one of these incredibly long ones and it kind of almost covers the length of my legs, so it keeps my legs nice and warm. And then I have the usual sort of square one. Oh, I love those so much. And my favorite snacks, I feel like popcorn is a good snack to have, and Kit Kats. I love Kit Kats so freaking much. I would absolutely love to know all of your comfy essentials. What makes you feel comfortable and cozy? Comment down below. Is there any advice you would give to someone who is getting their first tattoo and are a little nervous? Oh my goodness. Wow. It was a long time ago since I got my first tattoo, but I remember being nervous and somewhat excited, and I had like that adrenaline rush for my first, I don't know, like 10 tattoos. That feeling eventually does fade, unfortunately. Well, it did for me. When you get as tattooed as me, yeah, you get used to the whole process. But my advice is, number one, enjoy every freaking second of it, okay? Just embrace everything, take everything in, enjoy the experience. Know that you can take breaks if you need to. That's another very essential one. Make sure you have, some drinks and snacks, something sugary, just to keep your, blood sugar levels up there. And just know that most tattoo artists are very kind and considerate, and if you tell them that this is your first tattoo, they will accommodate to that, and they will tell you about the whole process and everything that they're doing, and it will really ease you, And also listen to aftercare. I mean, there's so many ways you can look after a tattoo, but when you first start getting tattooed, I would always take the tattoo artist aftercare over, anything I've ever said or anything that your friends say about how to look after a tattoo. Just listen to the tattoo artist, and then should you get more over the years, you'll start to learn what works for you and what doesn't. Have you ever cancelled a tattoo appointment because you didn't want that design anymore? I have not. I'm very happy with any design I've ever been given, mainly because I give a loose idea of what I want. Like, I'll send maybe a couple of reference photos over, or like a loose idea, and then anything an artist can draw up for me is normally exactly what I wanted and more. So yeah, I've never had that situation before personally. Are you still using your hair oils and stuff? I know you started that recently. Yes, well, that was actually a while ago. I think that was when I first had the long dark hair situation, because I really wanted to look after the natural hair and I had hair extensions in. But yeah, I still use hair oils and all of that jazz. I'll flag up some pictures of the stuff that I use on my hair. I recently got some more hair extensions. Last time I had an LA weave, which was basically like 4 wefts beaded into my hair. And then some nano tips or mini tips at the sides. This time I've just got full on micro tips, nano tips situation. They're just like little beads in my hair, and it's got like hair extensions attached to it. It's kind of hard. It'll be so hard to show you, but there's one just here. Here's one little strand. Hang on. Excuse me. But here's one right here. They're incredibly like thin. But I don't know how many I've got in my hair. There's a lot, because I have quite thick hair. I mean, it has thinned out since I've gone blonde. Oh my goodness. So my hair was in incredible condition when I took out the dark extensions, and I had sort of like shoulder length black hair. My hair was, oh my God, it was so shiny. It was so healthy. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's go Auburn, right? And then that's when the damage started, and now I'm like blonde. Unfortunately, my camera slash filming lighting makes my hair look a lot darker than it actually is. I'll obviously insert a picture of, you know, the true colour that it is. But yeah, unfortunately, even though I have been looking after my hair while lightening it, here, hang on, where's a bit of my actual hair? Is this my actual hair? No, there's some extensions there. So this is like, I mean, I have short layers anyway because I like that sort of choppy look. But yeah, this is, you know, my actual hair. Like the condition's fine, but it was so much better before. But I'm doing my utmost best to look after it with products, and I don't really use heat on my hair much at all. I will dry it using a hot round brush kind of thing. And then that's it. I won't use straighteners or curlers or anything like that. But now that I've got the extensions in, I can kind of just style this part and it's not actually my hair. You know, so all of my extensions is just going to take the brunt of it, which will give my actual hair a rest. What's the farthest distance you've travelled to get a tattoo? I think it might be, is it Brussels or Amsterdam? It's one of those. I don't know which one's further away. I think Brussels is. Because I got tattooed at the Brussels Tattoo Convention in 2018, I think it was. What was your occupation before becoming a YouTuber? Oh, well, I did a few things. So straight out of school, I did a hairdressing apprenticeship. Well, I worked in one hair salon when I was like 15 for a few months. Then I moved to another one when I finished school to do a hairdressing apprenticeship. And then after that, I went to college to study doing media makeup, which is basically like special effects stuff and all of that jazz. And then I worked in a nightclub bar. That was awful. I only lasted 2 weeks there because I freaking hated it. Then I went to college again to study media, which is basically, you know, film, TV, journalism, photography. That's where I met Yasmin, my best friend. So I did that for 2 years. I was 19 when I did that. So 19 to 21. And then I had plans to go to university, like I signed up to go and everything, but there was an issue with my application. It didn't get sent to the university, basically. Yeah, I was distraught by that, but it was honestly the best thing that ever happened to me because I don't know where I would be now if I had actually gone to university. You know, my life would be completely different. And then after that, I just worked in retail for like 6 years, I think it was, just over 6 years. I worked in Debenhams, which is was because it's not a thing anymore. I mean, it's online, but the stores are closed now. But it was just a big department store. And then I think I worked for Debenhams for about 4-ish years, and then I still worked in Debenhams, but I quit Debenhams and I worked for a concession within Debenhams for a brand called Kurt Geiger, who do very nice shoes and bags. So I did that for like 2 years, and that was great. Like, my manager was just freaking fantastic there, and still to this day I miss her. She was so lovely. Would you visit countries like Japan or Korea? Just examples. As a heavily tattooed person, why or why not? That's a very interesting question. I would love to visit Japan so much, just because everything is so different there. It's fascinating. And my friend Kami at the moment is in South Korea, and he is living his best life. It looks like he's having so much freaking fun, and he is pretty heavily tattooed. Like, he's got his hands tattooed and up to his neck tattooed, like he's got his chest tattooed, but some of it goes up onto his neck a little bit there. And he hasn't said anything. He hasn't said if he's had any, you know, issues with that or anything. I mean, we haven't had a big old conversation about it, but I think he might have mentioned it if he had. But he seems like he's having the best time. So yeah, I'd love to go to both those places and anywhere else that's maybe a bit iffy about tattoos. It's just all about respect. Because I know with Japan, if I was to go to some of the public baths where you're not allowed to have tattoos, I either wouldn't be able to go or I'd have to fully cover up somehow. And I totally respect that. I wouldn't be butthurt about it. I'd just be like, oh, okay, I can't go there. That's fine. It's not my country. It's not my culture. You know, I'm going to be the most respectful person I can be because that's the way it should be. You're traveling into a country that isn't your own. Respect everything about it. So I've had a couple of questions like this. I've got 2 here. It says, would you do anything differently if I was to start with a blank canvas again when it comes to like skin? And honestly, I think the only things I would do differently is my back. That's the only thing that I have. It's not that I regret my back tattoos. I like them. I just wish I had been a bit more patient, you know, and gone for something cohesive, because now this is where I'm thinking of, you know, blacking out the whole of my back and starting again and having more black ink over the top and white ink over the top. I kind of wish I didn't have to do that process to get a cohesive tattoo. But yeah, it kind of does sound like I regret it, but I truly don't, because again, I do like the tattoos. It's just, yeah, hindsight and all of that. But every other tattoo, every other experience, even the tattoos I've had covered up and, you know, blasted over, I would not do anything differently, because I have learned so much along the way. And that means I can share my knowledge with people, and that's how I have my job now, you know, like doing my YouTube videos. There is nothing I would do differently. Like, I love all of my tattoos that I have now. I don't know, I just love my tattoo journey a lot. I feel like you can see the growth of, you know, my older tattoos not looking that great, and then my newer ones look much better because I've been going to decent tattoo artists, and I like that all of my tattoos kind of tell that story. What tattoo was the sorest in your memory right now? No thinking, Lauren. Definitely my palm. I don't even have to think about it. My palm tattoo will always be the most painful tattoo I've ever had, ever. It used to be my neck tattoo, because that was an experience and that was still incredibly sore, but nothing compares to this. I don't think there will ever be a more painful placement on my body than my palm. This is another question that has been asked quite a few times, not just on my Instagram Q&A, but like on my YouTube comments and stuff, and that is, are you going to film an updated tattoo tour? And the answer is yes, but I'm not going to do it until next year, just in case I get anything else this year. I don't have any plans for the remainder of this year. Like, I've got nothing booked, but never say never with me. You just never know. But I want to do it next year so we can kind of close out this year and then, you know, start it from next year, and I'll do the full tattoo tour then. I've had quite a few questions about dogs. This one is, do you have a dog? I'm curious because you love them, but I don't know if you got one. If not, when? I love dogs. I could sit here and make a 3-hour presentation on why I love dogs. I think they are just the most incredible creatures of all time. They're just so lovely. There isn't one dog I don't like. I like them all. There is no need to hate dogs, ever. Like, what have they done? Like, they're so precious, and all they want is to be held and loved and fussed and fed, and to have a ball thrown for them to catch, or a stick. Just a stick. You can get a stick from outside and they'd be so happy with that. And the way that they're so excited to see you when you come home, or if you go to someone's house, like Tom's parents has, oh god, the most adorable dog, and he gets so freaking excited every time I go around, and he's running around, he gets the zoomies, and oh, I just love dogs, okay? But no, I don't have a dog. I unfortunately can't have a dog where I live right now. Me and Tom rent this place, and the landlord, who is an amazing landlord, he's great, honestly, he's such a sound guy, but you know, he was like, no pets. He let me have my rabbit. I did have a house bunny when I first moved in, but he passed away literally like 2 months after I moved in, kind of thing. But the landlord was like, yeah, it's fine, you can have him, whatever. And I honestly think if I was to ask the landlord, like, hey, can we have a dog? Because we've been here for pretty much 2 years now, can you believe it? I think he would probably allow us, because he knows that we're pretty sound people. We keep the house clean and tidy, we pay our rent dead on time, and we never cause any issues or fuss. We kind of just, you know, live here. But the other thing with that is the garden, if you want to call it that, it's not very dog friendly. There is no grass whatsoever. It's basically just slabs, gravel, a couple of stairs. And for me, I would want my dog to have the absolute best life. You know, a nice, like if this garden had some grass in it, I'd be like, okay, we could probably have a small dog, because the garden isn't that big at all. So like a little sausage dog could probably suffice in this small garden if we had some grass. But, you know, like, it's just, I don't know. I'm just like I want a dog so bad, trust me, but I want it to live a good life. So when me and Tom eventually, you know, get our own house, like a house we own, that would probably be one of the first things we do. I'd be like, can we go to the dog shelter like right now, please? And that's something I would love to do also, is to adopt, because there's so many dogs in shelters that I just want to love and fuss, and yeah, oh, I just love dogs, okay? Any more piercing plans? Yes. Kind of, sort of. So I somewhat recently, should I say, got my daith piercing right there. I'd love to get my other daith pierced on this side, but I'm waiting for this one to heal up first. And then I definitely want some like helix piercings and all of that. But at the minute, I'm just waiting for this one to heal, which may take a while. It will definitely be more ear piercings. For other piercings like face and all of that jazz, I think I'm kind of over that at the moment, you know. I don't fancy any other piercings. I've had all my lip area pierced here and there. I've got my nose piercings, one on each side, but I wear a ring that makes it look like I've got 2 holes. I don't. There's just no way. Like, nose piercings suck. They hurt so bad. So I'm over that. How long do you usually wait to go swimming, take a bath with a new tattoo? There's so many opinions. That's true. There is so many opinions. For me personally, I wait until the tattoo is healed, where there is absolutely no more scabs on there or flaky dry skin. I'd say when the tattoo gets to that sort of shiny phase, so that's normally around about 4 or 5 weeks for me anyway. Everyone's different, of course, but I'd say, yeah, around about 4 or 5 weeks is when I'm like, right, I'm getting in the bath, let's go. Because I absolutely love having baths, especially in winter, when it just makes you feel warm and cozy. It makes me feel like I'm a bit of pasta because I have my bath water so freaking hot, you know, so I'm just like cooking myself. Canadian here, married a Brit. What is there to like about mushy peas? Nothing. I don't like mushy peas. I don't understand it either, to be honest with you. Okay, Tom, my boyfriend, likes mushy peas. It looks weird. I'm not about it. I don't mind garden peas, you know, just like the petit pois, the little cute little peas. I love them. But there's something about mushy peas. It looks awful. Like, you won't catch me eating that ever, okay? Are the microbladed eyebrows worth it? I'm considering getting them in the future. Yes, honestly, it is the best thing, or one of the best things I've ever done, because it's like you get up and you go. Your eyebrows are done. It's the lazy girl's dream. My eyebrows look so much better. I mean, they kind of probably look a bit wild right now because, yeah, I did like a lot of feathering with them today. Like, I actually put some stuff in them, like eyebrow gel. You know, every day normally I just leave them as it is and just go. So I highly recommend them, honestly. Just, I will forever go and get touch-ups and all of that. It is literally the best money I've ever spent. Are we going to see any Yasmin content soon? I miss seeing her so much. Oh, yeah, of course. So the thing is, with me and Yasmin, as you may know, I did move somewhat an hour away from where I used to live. Me and Yasmin would see each other like twice a week or once a week or whatever. So filming content with her I didn't feel as bad. You know, like I was like, oh, Yasmin, you know, I'm going to film today. Is that cool? And she'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Because we'd already seen each other that week. But we don't get to see each other that much anymore because I've moved away. And the thing is, we both got into relationships at the same kind of time. And obviously, we both always have time for each other. We talk, you know, nearly every day. It's not like we don't, you know, communicate or anything like that. But, you know, she's very busy with her other half now. You know, she's got a lot of plans with him and all of that, which is fine. I totally respect it. I love that for her. She's so incredibly happy. And that's what I want for her. As long as she's happy, I don't care. So when I do see her, like I literally just saw her this weekend gone. It was great. I just don't really feel like, you know, bringing my camera out and just vlogging because I want to catch up with her. I want to talk to her. I want to see what her lives are like, you know, have deep conversations because we don't get to do it that much anymore, you know, like we don't get to see each other, you know, every week. So I don't know when the next time will be. I don't even know when I'm next seeing her because she's so freaking busy. Because, like, the last time I saw her, I was like, right, are you free this day? And she's like, no, I'm not free this day. I'm like, oh, you free this day? And she's like, no. And then she's like, oh, you free this day? And I'm like, no. We've got to that age now where, you know, like, it's just an age thing, I think, you know, like when you've settled down. I'll make sure at some point soon there'll be a video of us both somehow, somewhere. Top tips for self-employed life. Oh, boy. I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I think the best ones is to schedule your week and make sure you know what you're doing for that week and work around whatever else you've got going on for that week. Does that make any sense? Because when you're self-employed, you can kind of work whenever you want. But if I've got like 3 things going on that week that isn't work related, I'd be like, right, I've got to make sure I film on this day. I've got to edit on this day. because that is obviously way more important than anything else I've got going on. So I have to make sure that that is the priority. Another one is make sure you socialize in any way, shape or form that you can. So before I lived with Tom, like I was saying, I would see Yasmin quite a bit. So that was my like socialization. But now that I live with Tom, I have someone that I can talk to and all of that, because it can get kind of lonely working, you know, you're working for yourself. You've got, you know, no one to talk to. This is sad if you think about it. I literally sit in a room and I talk to a camera. There's nobody here. There's no one home. So you have to make sure that you schedule dates or moments to be social, because if you don't, it can get very lonely. But obviously, you know, Tom comes home from work and he will tell me about his day and I'll tell him about mine and we'll talk about random crap. That's very important. Another one that's very hard for me is make sure you take some time for yourself. Being self-employed, there are so many perks, but one, I'd say, disadvantage is that, say you do social media or whatever. Right now, if I was to go on Instagram, that's technically me doing my job. There is not one social media app that I use for fun, because it's all for my job. But I mean, compared to, you know, any other job, it's easy. Which value means the most to you in your relationship? Value, what's that mean? I don't know what that means. What do I value most in my relationship, maybe, or something like that? I don't know. I think, well, with me and Tom, life is incredibly easy. We just click and we get on with everything. It's like, should we go food shopping? Yeah, okay, cool, we'll just go. You want to go out and do something? Yeah, cool, okay, let's go. You don't want to go out and do something? Okay, that's cool. Like, I really love that so much. We're just very easygoing, the both of us. I also love that he's incredibly supportive of what I do. He's, you know, never once judged me or laughed at me for my content creating or anything like that. He's just like, yeah, cool, whatever, you do you. And he's incredibly funny. Like, I absolutely just, I need to be with someone that's funny, because otherwise I'm bored. And there isn't a day that he doesn't make me piss myself with laughter, let me tell you. And he's so frustrating. He is incredibly chaotic. He's a Sagittarius. If you know about star signs and stuff, you're probably like, oh god. But yeah, he's a true Sagittarius, and he's so frustrating, but it's great. Where would you like to settle on house-wise if you and Tom buy? Ooh, adult question, love. So, like I was saying, I now live an hour away from where I used to live, where I grew up. But I used to live in this county called Bedfordshire. I now live in a county called Northamptonshire. I now live at the like north point of Northamptonshire, and I kind of lived in the south point of Bedfordshire, so I've moved like quite a distance. When we get our own house that isn't like renting or whatever, I definitely would probably want to stay in the Northamptonshire area, just because one, it's cheaper. Like, house prices are much cheaper, like for what I have right now for rent. So I think we pay, like, me and Tom split half and half. We pay, I think it's just over like £1,000 now. When we first moved in, it was 925, but obviously each year it's gone up a little bit. So yeah, we just paid just over 1,000. We have a 3-bedroom house, 3-bathroom, living room is decently sized, kitchen is decently sized, like it's a decent sized house. So we literally have like a bargain here. I think the reason why it was so cheap is because the landlord didn't really want children here. Me and Tom don't want children. The garden isn't much of anything. So it was probably going to be kind of hard for him to find people like us. So I think that's why he kind of made it kind of reasonably priced. Where I used to live, you would not get this kind of house for that price. You're looking at close to like nearly 2,000. How's the healing with the Dave piercing going? Just got mine done. Any aftercare advice? Oh, congratulations. My advice is clean it once, maybe twice a day, and then leave it the hell alone. Dave piercings or cartilage piercings are very temperamental. You'll think it's okay, and then you'll wake up one day and then you have like one of those irritation bumps, and it's just like, oh, come on, you were doing so well. But yeah, when I first got mine done, for the first, I want to say like 3-4 weeks, it was healing perfectly. It was doing so damn good. And then the irritation bumps happened and it was not fun, but I just carried on doing what I was doing, and now they have subsided a lot. It's just one of those things, you know, it's a bit of trial and error. What brings you the most joy in life? Ooh, Well, one, honestly, it's the simple things. I think I've maybe got to that age now, I don't know, but simple things bring me joy. Like sitting downstairs with a blanket, some candles lit, and just watching a TV show that I like, Real Housewives of whatever I'm watching at the time. That brings me joy. And spending quality time with people that I like, and the smell of new carpet, and the smell of bread baking, and the smell of petrol. Just the simple things. As a tourist, I would like to hear your favourite spots in the UK. By the way, I enjoy the energy of your videos. Well, thank you very much. My favourite places in the UK, one is Brighton. I love Brighton so much, just because it's so diverse and accepting. There's so many good food places, there's so many things to see and do. I highly recommend Brighton. I always will. It's always been one of my favourite places to go. I'm somewhat getting over London a little bit. I don't know, I think it could be an age thing, but London's so busy, and the constant getting on tubes and walking and blah blah blah, and I feel like I've seen everything in London, you know, I've been everywhere in London. But it's good if you've not been before. I really like Newcastle. Me and Tom have been a couple of times. Tom loves Newcastle. He supports the football team. And I don't know, like I've never been before, but there's so much like fun things there. I also love Manchester because, again, there's so many like independent restaurants. You know, like there's no need to eat at any of the chain restaurants because there's so many that are really good. Okay, so that's it for this video. I truly appreciate you all so much, and until my next video, bye.